So we can't go forward.
Can't go forward.
And going straight back into the house.
And basically, I broke the drive shaft. So it won't power itself. It'll fire up and turn, but it will not drive.
And we have to get you through this hole.
Correct. It's got to go between these two trees.
Hooking up to the middle of your bumper.
Okay.
Have you turn our driver so that as I started to put it back into the vehicle up, it would rotate you around back up on the trail.
Okay. But you have, this is where you have to look at all the variables. First, I'm heavier than you are.
Yeah.
So I'm going to drag you no matter what. So you have to anchor it in one way or another to pull me out. But you can't just hook to me this way and pull with the bank. So you have to have that rear tire. We either have to shift all the way this way, which would be hooking with a roll cage and leaning it. We either need to pick it up, or we need to have that rear tire follow around the bed. Well, any of the problem here is you're not going to be able, you're going to pull it into the tree before you pull it this way. Because as the Jeep comes backwards, turning the wheel, it won't cut hard enough to make that turn. This is where sometimes it's better just to take the extra 15 minutes or so and think it out. Plan your route, where are you going to go, what are you going to do, where does it need to go. So for me to get it to turn, it almost has to roll backwards and then turn. But see what I just did with my hands? So guess what I'm pointing at? Where it has to go. There. Okay. Well, we got to pull from something over here. What can we pull from over here that'll work?
So if your Jeep is too heavy, if I can't anchor back there and your Jeep was too heavy for me to do that, could I back in right here to it and pull you back? The challenge there is we'd be closer together. As you came around, there's a chance. We just have to watch where the vehicles are. But if I don't have enough pulling power from this direction, I could reposition to here to get more pulling power.
And with this, we want to hook it. We want to do it right from the start.
Right.
So why don't you do that? Let's back yours in right here. Now the key part is you want dead center of your vehicle pointing towards whatever tree you're going to hook to. So let's hook to the little tree.
Okay.
But the reason why is it'll auto feed itself evenly. If you're slightly to one side or the other, it's going to side load it. And then if it side loads it, it's going to run the risk of harming it. Now we'll use my gear.
Okay.
All we need is your winch. How do we need to rig this, in your eyes?
So, put a tree strap
Okay.
and a pulley up on the tree. Go through the pulley and back.
Tree strap. Pull. Now see this one, 10,000 or 9,008. That's the generic. Okay, so those will get hooked there. Now, before you hook up too much, I'm still heavier than you.
Yep.
The thing is, right now, we're just doing a one-to-one. So it's coming from you through there back to mine. So you're seeing 100% of the load. Well, you're helping me. I got stuck. So we don't want to make yours work that hard. So how can we make up that difference? How can we make yours work less?
So we can do a double.
Correct.
So we would want it like this, where it's...
No, you can still have it sitting like that, but what you'll do, this will go to the tree saver.
Right.
Your winch is going to come up and hook to here with the pulley and go down, and then your hook will come back and hook to this.
So this will
the
go
shackle.
unused.
This will be unused.
Okay.
But what you can do with this, if we needed to, this could go to this tree, this could go to that tree. This distributes the load between. So you could hook to 3 trees and have everything through here or anything of the sort.
Okay.
Just a load distribution plate. Yep. So now whenever you hook up a tree saver, you always want the tree saver in the fattest part of the shackle, just because the ends are so big.
So this would
like
be
that.
like this. Gotcha.
But now what we can do, since it's going to go like that anyway, put it there. And
Okay.
It'll naturally rotate itself around where it needs to be.
All right.
Or just put it like so.
Okay.
Or you could use a soft shackle here. I'll leave it up to you.
Well, if this is all we have, then I don't want this here. I want this with this, because I don't want this sharp edge with one of those. So I would put a soft shackle here.
The other thing also, when you're rigging up like this, if you're hooking to this, now you're going to be side loading this plate. But if you spin it around straight, and in the off-roading world, they always say tighten the pin up, back it off a quarter turn. That leaves room for the pin to bend. So it's always better just to make sure it goes tight. So now we hook here. So now we take your metal shackle and we hook like that. Or to be straight on, we hook it here like this, and then we bring our winch hook back to there.
Okay.
But we got to run your winch line through it first.
Yeah.
Now, anytime you're hooking up a shackle, always try to have the pin on the upper side.
Okay.
Just in case it wiggles, that the pin doesn't loosen up. Not that you shouldn't be shaking it that much that it loosens all the way out and falls down, but it's a good habit to get into. Well, go ahead, hook up the double. So I'm just going to pull out enough line for now, make sure we're down to our 10.
Good. What's up?
That's all the winch line you have.
So I'm down to my last few spools.
You're down to your last strap. We are at the bolt.
Oh, well then we can't do this.
Well, I'll show you. We're down to the single wrap, but look how much slack we have. Well, as it only really matters is when there's tension on it. That's when it can pull it off the drum. Right now, if you spool it in, it's not going to have tension on it, so it's going to start wrapping itself. So we just want to start with the heavy load with it at 8.
Okay.
Can we get, there's 1 wrap on it. Can we get 7 more wraps out of this slack? I think we can.
If not, I can just pull forward just a bit.
And that's where we'll try it first. So I'll let you do that. Now this is the problem where you have to look into the hole.
But I got to be on that side because I don't want to be over here.
Correct. Yep. Now make sure it goes in nice and neat. And you're listening and feeling for tension, but you're also watching to see how many wraps you get.
Right, now I'm starting to get tension and I'm at 5, so I need to pull forward just a bit.
So we're that close. Now what we could do also, we could bring all this slightly closer, but then we'd have to power out.
Yeah.
Whereas what I would do with yours, hop in, put it in neutral, and just ride the brake and let the winch drag you forward. Okay, hold there. That should be good. Yeah, you're on number 9.
Okay. Put it in neutral.
Yep. And I'm going to manipulate the brake and the steering. Because if I want it to slide, I slam on the brake. If I want it to roll, I let off the brake.
Okay.
If I want the front end to go downhill, I turn the wheel. And that's where I'm going to manipulate the steering to help. Instead of just going, pull it, I'm going to use that like a rudder to determine where we go.
Now, should I put a damper on it?
If we need to.
Well, because we're across a road.
We're across a road, and the park is open there.
Yeah.
So, mine's right here. Mine's right there. Now, we're putting it on as a visual aid, not as a safety thing. But this is a dead end. So they're going to come this way in, or if they go left, they're going to miss it. If they go right, they can go up there and miss it. So the only ones we're really worried with is
coming down
straight down.
Put it right here.
Now, if we put it here,
Yeah.
this line's never going to go anywhere.
Right.
So it's not going to go with the line.
So it'll sit right there.
It'll sit
which
and
is
stay.
where we want.
Yep. And it's just process elimination. Now, some people say don't step over the winch line like this because it could all of a sudden snap and come up and hit you in the groin. How's it going to all of a sudden snap?
And it doesn't have that much
No,
on
it's just
it.
got tension on it,
Yeah.
so it's not going to go anywhere. But it's also not, you don't want to step over it while you're winching.
Right.
But while it's like this, the other thing is they don't want you to trip over. Well, stop, take another step, make sure you don't fall. Yep. So now what we want to do is we want to talk about the forces before we do any winching. So we said 10,000 pounds. Yep. So now, this whole bumper is seeing 10,000 pounds. So the shackle mount, everything's seeing 10,000. Now, the nice part about this is it's right where it attaches to the frame, so it's solid. But we're still only pulling on one frame rail. So if it's pulling hard and the vehicle's shifting, but it's not moving, I could be separating the frames. I'm gonna watch the cross member. I could hook to both sides to split that load if I wanted to with a bridle. But at this hard of an angle, it's difficult, okay? And you chase it down the line everywhere you go.
This is 5. I was looking here, but it would be 5 and 5.
Correct. So that's seeing 5.
Yeah.
Now with this seeing 5, it's rated for 43,000.
Yeah.
So barely even making this work. This is 5. Winch line with no stroke. So now this is seeing 10 because of this, but this is seeing 15.
Right, which is, and it's rated for 20 max load.
Max load. This is rated for 26.5 on a vertical pull, almost 50 at a basket, and it's seeing 15. So what's the weakest link of the whole thing?
The winch.
The winch. And that's what you want. And that's the way the manufacturer designs it, that the winch is the weakest link. People want to rig this up, put tension on it, not even come back and double check and just keep winching. You have to come back and double check everything. Make sure there's no spots that are going to tear anything. Make sure nothing's going to fall apart. Now you can start trusting your gear. But once you know what your gear is rated for also, you can look at it and go, yep, we're good. Done. But now, right now, the way this is set up, you have no sharp edges at your fair lead. None of this is sharp. Everything is 100% working order. It cannot fail. We have it all hooked up correctly. We're using proper technique. Everything's rated way above what it's actually pulling. But we're still pulling a significant load. We're just splitting it down to where we dumb down every piece of equipment to be using the minimal thing it needs to. And that's rigging. The winch is only going to do what the winch is going to do. The rigging makes up the difference. You don't want to decide.
Right.
Okay, I'm in neutral, ready to go. Whenever you're ready. Now, can you see what's happening on my Jeep as you're doing it? Yep. Just keep watching it. Okay, hold on, I want to look at that then. Because the suspension's loading, it's causing it to squat, which is going to break speed. So I have to do a delicate balance of letting it roll versus holding the brake. So now with it's loading, I'm going to be off the brake because I want it to roll as much as possible. I'm going to turn the wheel so it rolls easier. See how much you're turning the wheel changed it? Yep, now it's rolling. Now, I want it to turn hard. It doesn't hit the tree. Yeah, it's coming around. Now I'm holding the brake. So pivot. Okay, keep pulling. Now, check your winch cable or your winch rope. How's it spooling?
Now it's full right.
Perfect? Yep, because you're dead straight. Okay, so now this is where I'm going to ride the brake and watch what it does. So now, you can feel how slow your winch actually works.
Yeah.
Now touch the motor, feel it.
Oh, the winch motor? It's cool. Slightly more on the left side.
Well, that's where you want to feel.
Slightly.
Oh, that's nice pull. Barely working. Spool nice?
Yeah. It's spooling perfectly.
Well, we took the extra time to set everything right. So now, you spun me 90 degrees and pulled me back on rigging. And this was so much heavier than that, and it pulled like it was nothing. We rigged it correctly.